Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of HomeCookin. This is a special episode we got today, and you know it. You got the Chef Alan, and you got the blessed one, Bluska. What's good, Bluska?
Not much, Alan. What's on the menu today?
Oh, we got some special things for this video called episode today. We got a little discussion on leadership, and we're gonna dive into women in sports. So.
Absolutely. Oh, we can't forget about the one that will be helping us in these conversations. Our first guest, Olivia Goswaby, the one and only commissioner of the Ontario Women's Intercollegiate Football Association, PhD in neuroscience, and can fall asleep at anywhere and any time, no matter what.
Keep it going.
How are you doing, Olivia?
Yeah, you had to expose me on my sleeping habits, eh?
Hey.
Thanks for having me. I actually really appreciate being here. You two are a fun duo, so I want to see what we cook up today, and then hopefully we'll get something.
Cook up is the correct word. Okay, but to start you off, as a guest, the people gotta get to know you a little bit. So I got 10 easy questions. It's gonna be this or that. So are you ready?
Okay, let's go.
I don't know why I chose this question, but dog or cat?
Dog, all the way.
Really?
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Night or day?
Night.
Come on, Bluska, you gotta go deeper, man. Let's
Football or neuroscience?
Ooh.
Football.
Ooh, that's deep.
Fall
or spring?
Fall. Big fall person.
All right, and just for color's sake, blue or red?
Red.
Amusement parks or beaches?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Amusement parks. Ideally an amusement park at a beach, but I'll do an amusement park.
Jeez. Next one. What's worse, laundry or dishes?
Laundry because of the folding.
Coke or Pepsi?
I do not like soft drinks, but if I had to choose, probably Coke.
Finish it off. GTA Woman as Yourself. Drake or The Weeknd?
Ooh, Drake. Just because I listen to him more often if I think about it.
Okay, that's true.
Okay.
Radio. Okay, Alan, why don't you take us off into our topics of the day?
Yeah, so because we know about Olivia already, Bluska, like you more than me, and just seeing what Olivia does on the regular and just being a leader, especially when it comes to sports, I think that, we just wanted to pick her mind, especially on, like, what does it mean to be a leader? Like, tell me about what you're doing right now, because I can see you on the gram and on Facebook and all those other social media posting about, like, new events coming up for you. So, just let us into your experience with, like, leadership, wrap it up in sports, because I know that you can, and, just tell us, like, what we can learn.
Oh, I don't even know where to start. So I guess
start with the beginning. How did it all? How did you become the commissioner?
That's a good question. It felt like it was like a natural thing to kind of come together. So to kind of just paint the landscape of where football started for women in Ontario, Canada, it was rooted in this type of football called powder puff. So this started about in the 90s. Like it goes back. It's been around for quite a bit of time. It was actually really the only option for kind of women to play. It wasn't considered very competitive back then, especially because it was more for charity in that aspect. But when I came to university at Western, I played other sports. So I started off with volleyball, but then I wanted to continue with football. I'd been playing since I was in grade 6. So I was like, hey, I got to find an opportunity in university. And kind of the only one was this concept of powder puff. Not a big fan of that word, only because it was kind of rooted in like old history of powder puff in the States. I think powder referred to women putting on makeup. So it's kind of it could be seen as a sexist term, although when it was initiated here in Ontario, that's not really what the intention was. It was more so to for the guys to coach the girls and be able to have a chance for them to play. Now, fast forward, since I'm now doing a PhD, like 4 years later, or even 3 years after I'd started out, that's when I saw that there's a need to kind of bring all of these programs together, have women's football grow to the level that it should be, which is a competitive and eventually varsity sport. And just my natural leadership qualities, I'm just going to hype myself up casually there. I took it on. It has now progressed into a whole league of its own. And we now have 10 universities in Ontario competing in this league. I have an executive team that I oversee and work with so that we can ensure that the experience of football is at the highest level it can be, considering the number of obstacles that are in the way with getting people on board to see women's football, in this case is actually flag football, as a competitive sport for women. So with that, now with all the teams that we have on board, we're just growing. And Alan, you pointed out nicely, we have so much on the go. This work for me wasn't easy, and I'm so happy that I had this backing of strong women, and then the guys who coach us, they're an amazing group that kind of keep all of this moving forward. And so with that, I was able to put this league together with my exec team, and now it's where it is today. So what Alan pointed out were all these amazing things that I love to share online and share on social media. And where that starts is, one, we're running mini training camps early next year to get our girls playing, because we do have a canceled season due to the pandemic. On top of that, we're running kind of leadership networks and socials and online panels and events to get everyone kind of talking about women in sport, talking about these key leaders in women's football, even in the NFL and CFL. So we've got a lot of kind of that online material coming out hard. Every year we run 4 tournaments and a championship, and it's huge. So the culture is big. I mean, we have 440 athletes, over 70 coaches, tons of fans. So I'm just picturing how big our league has gotten over time. So yeah.
Not only is she the commissioner, but she's also been the starting quarterback of the Western team, who have been, the most dominant team, I'd have to add, in the league. So gotta give her props there. So she does it all, the trifecta. But as we're talking about how you run the organization and how big it's come, do you see in the future like being able to compete with universities outside of Ontario?
I mean, that's the end goal. Like, a lot of the conversations now are, surprisingly, many people are like, wow, Ontario's a bit ahead of the game when you kind of look at all of the teams we have involved, all the competition we have. So all the other provinces are trying to catch up. Although out west, they're a bit better with the tackle programs. Although for me personally, I think the future is flag, but that's a whole other story. Essentially, they're trying to come on board, and we're trying to figure out a way to bring more women into the game. And that's been a conversation with all of the sports organizations in charge of football, so like Football Canada, and then their provincial organizations. So the end goal, and I was just having a conversation about this today, is, hey, that Grey Cup week, you have the Canada Cup where you see all the high school kids come out. You have the Vanier Cup at the same time. Why can't you just have the women parallel with that, right? Why can't you have that all in the same week? You might as well showcase all the talent that you've got in football across Canada. So that's the dream.
And would that mean that the season would be ending on that Grey Cup weekend? Is that the plan, or would it be kind of starting? Because I know you guys go throughout the winter when we're all sleeping, when most of the world is sleeping. The women are out there grinding. They're doing what the men aren't doing. They're getting up early. They're getting out in the snow. They work through it. So it's legit. And you got passionate members of the organization there, whether it's from the coaches to the players, especially. It takes a lot of dedication waking up there and to something that's building, and that's something that's great too, because it's blooming right now. But still, you have all these people that are willing to take the blocks of times that aren't necessarily the easiest to adjust to, especially when you got school, especially when you have exams, and especially when it's minus 17 outside.
I mean, you're bringing up all the things that keep us going. I mean, okay, just put into perspective. We love the game so much that we will go out in that minus 17-degree weather. Like, we'll play in the snow. It's our chance to play. And in order for some of those guys to coach us, because a lot of them are OUA men's athletes, like, they can't be coaching us during their season. So we have to put our season kind of offsetting to that. I mean, the dream would be like our games would be just before the guys, just after the guys play, like against the same school kind of thing. So for example, here at Western, if we're playing Queens, the guys would play first, the girls would just play after kind of thing. That's what I would picture. And that would be in a non-snowy minus 17-degree weather type of deal, like hopefully 22 degrees like it is today. But yeah, that's not the case. We're not upset about it. We're motivated women. Like, we just love the game. And the fact that the demand is so high, there's got to be a time where the sport is recognized more than just flag, just recreational.
I think you summed it up so nicely how you like your role in your organization and just the growth of women's in sports, which is like our other topic. It seems like we're blending together what we expected to talk about today, Alaska. But it's good, and I think it's awesome what you're doing. How you're bringing about like you're like creating something out of a case where people like you're creating an opportunity that a lot of people wouldn't consider being possible, especially for women who do have interest in playing like football, right? Because yeah, you're just creating awareness of the sport and like just being able to talk to people that are like the CFL when it comes to like their finals week, right? Just being able to be a part of that's huge, right? That's just a huge step in the right direction, and if it goes through, it's going to be big for the growth in like other provinces.
It's all talk. We'll see. We still need to make sure all the schools. There's so much politics with getting this going. So, what comes with leadership is a lot of hurdles, and you just have to kind of surpass them and figure out ways around them sometimes. And right now, we're working with what we got as women's programs run by women, coached by women and men. So. Yeah. Like lots going in the right direction. It's now just building the right allies for everyone to be on board. This shouldn't even be a question anymore, I think, in this day and age. But convincing people that flag football is the next, like, it is a sport for women and it's its own thing. Like, it's been tough. And if you think about it, I think Canada or Ontario is behind. Like, we already have a varsity program that's running out of the States, where the NAIA, for example, has a whole league and varsity teams in those leagues at college and universities.
And you see how ultimate frisbee is, getting flying out of the water. So I think the numbers are there. The people love to play, and so that should be the opportunity right there for people to jump on it.
Yeah, like from you mentioning the importance of getting more women in sports, and you're talking about how you're the head of this organization, just trying to bring awareness to different areas and to increase popularity when it comes to women who want to play football. And